And we welcome you to the debut of the Joe Judge Report. I'm Bob Papa with New York Giants head coach Joe Judge. And, Coach, it's going to be a pleasure talking with you each week as we go through some of these X's and O's. And there's a lot that makes a successful play, isn't there?
Yeah, well, all 11 got to play together. So there's different aspects of every play, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, that combine to make it a successful play. And on top of that, not just the individual plays, but really what I want to talk about today is complementary football, Bob. We talk to our players all the time. There's the three phases that they have to complement each other. We got a series of 3 plays right here, kind of explain that to everyone watching the show right now about how our players view the game, how it has to unfold with the kicking game, the offense, and defense working together to own the field position and capitalize on opportunity.
All right, Coach, you have 1st and 10 at the plus 41, and you got a great opportunity here to take the lead in the ball game. Set us up on what this play is designed to do and how it's executed.
Yes, we're working with bigger personnel. We call this 13, so it's 1 back and 3 tight ends. Only puts 1 receiver on the field. Generally speaking, that's more of a run formation. Now, we showed last night we can run or pass out of all of our personnel groupings, but teams normally have to match size with more size. And by putting more size on the field, you can create favorable matchups either with a tight end versus a linebacker, possibly a safety, but really isolate your receivers outside in the corner on one-on-one matchups. So really what you like to do for the quarterback is simplify as much of what he has to see post-snap. So we can put Daniel in a matchup right here to really work off a play-action pass and know he is a one-on-one that he throws every day in practice on the outside. He can play more aggressive and faster. So it's a good shot right here. We're going to run on through it. This is really a max protection play right here. We're going to work off the play fake to Saquon. Early downs, most teams are thinking with heavy personnel, run first. You got a defense thinking run stop right here. Gives us an opportunity to work off what they're doing. And you just see right here to start the play, it's all going to start right here with the play fake right there from Saquon and how it influences and brings up the secondary support right there with the backers and the safety in the box. So right here, we're really getting what we want right here. We got good pass protection up top. We got double teams on Watt. We got a good matchup down here on Bud Dupree. It's really our top players on the edges right there. Daniel's got a lot of room to work with right here, and we're really creating that one-on-one matchup on the outside. Now, what we're looking to do is influence the safety play. So they're playing a 1 deep safety look, and because of the size inside, you've got to load the box up here with more numbers to support against the run. All right, so really what we're looking at on this point right here is we want to run Evan on an over route, and we want to run Slayton on a post route down the field. And what that's going to give us the opportunity is right here is work the one-on-one matchup outside along with working off what the safety's going to do. If he plays deep, we get the shot underneath. If he bites up, we get the shot behind for the touchdown right there. All right, now we've got to account for how they play defense as well. And with Pittsburgh, what you have to keep in account is when they get in their single high defense, okay, anytime they bring a 5th rush or any kind of a pressure look, whether it's a man or zone concept on the back end, they all play the same. They're matching all the underneath receivers, and the back end has to coordinate the same way. So we don't really differentiate too much with these guys on man or zone once we get into blitz or pressures from their shot. So we're going to start real quick with just a perimeter. We're going to tie in the back end in a second. Now, watching Slayton right here does a good job running, all right, getting the guy turned around, all right, and then you got right here, Daniel's a nice job of laying this thing on out here. Andrew's doing a good job on the protection, really steering Dupree on by and giving him a chance to step up where there's a lot of protection in that pocket. He can throw a really aggressive pass. Now, the key part of the play is what we mentioned about earlier, though. You got the one-on-one matchup, and you got the safety biting over top. Now, this technique right here, we call it a sniper technique. And what you're looking to do defensively, whether it's a man or a zone concept, and I said Pittsburgh's all play the same once they bring that extra rusher, which they did up front, is this corner will play back. The center fielder will sniper and cut any deep crossers. And when that happens, the backside corner replaces and becomes the middle field player because there's nothing over here to threaten him and hold him in the home base. We still get that one-on-one match, but what Daniel has to be conscious of, and Slayton's got to be conscious of, is the target of where we want to hit this ball really on the near hash or that near upright to protect them, not from the man he's running the route on, but from the guy he can't see that's replacing that middle field safety where he's going to look to take a hit on him. Now I'm going to go to the back end real quick after we go ahead and see this right here. Obviously, it's a nice pass by Daniel, very aggressive down the field. You see it sticking that tight window right there. And the biggest part of this right here, again, is that target point down the way that if we lead Slayton too far over here, he's going to get contacted and probably pass broken up right there by the backside corner. So it's a nice job of staying on track where that target runs through that near hash, throwing it between the corner he's running on. The corner replaces the middle field player right there and give him a chance for a nice squeeze. It all starts up front, though, with the run action. It all starts up front, all right, with the offensive line giving Daniel a nice pocket to really play in right there.
All right, and plus 41, 1st and 10. ideal opportunity. That's a take a shot zone, isn't it, for you?
You know, for a lot of teams, right when you get across the 50, we call it the fringe zone right there. You're on that fringe of that field goal range, fringe on that red area. So it can be a broader range based on what team it is. But you hear a lot about fringe shots. You know, Pittsburgh's a fringe shot team. We played last night. Our guys knew right when they crossed the 50, be alert for the shots. They're coming after. They're going to take a shot down the field. Score early if they can.
Now it's time to take a look at the defense. All right, after Darius Slayton's 41-yard touchdown catch, Pittsburgh gets the ball back. They're facing a 3rd and 9, and your defense executes it to perfection.
Yeah, again, so I'm going to tie back to the original concept, talk about complementary football. So offense takes the ball down the field, they score. We kick off, we give good field position. We're now in a 3rd and out situation right here. So it's 3rd down. They're in a passing situation. You see Ben back there in the gun. He's looking around. And we're playing more of a match type of defense right here with center field help. All right, so right here we're going to start talking about, all right, the perimeter on the back end, how this all ties together for us in a lot of these different looks. So first thing we're going to talk about right here is the back end. All right, so we're going to watch the 2 safeties, Logan and Julian right here, in terms of how they're going to rotate and roll. It's a good job right here of playing the deep field help, really playing between those hashes from middle field. And then we got Logan really right here, just past the sticks right here on 3rd and long. And he's really playing that robber in that low zone, really looking for the over routes coming across so we can play back hip and we can play front hip right there as the ball gets placed in there. Now on the outside, we're locked up 1-for-1 right there with the corners on the wide receivers. Now we have to complement is inside. Without any low help, we're matched up 1-on-1 with Peppers and the tight end. We have good contact up top, 3 for 3. We got deep field help. We got the robber coming down right here. We're very secure in this part of the field. The plays got to be made at this point right now is breaking down on the tight end to prevent the catch and run for the 1st down. All right, it's a lot easier said than done. So you got a good tight end in space. He's going to get the ball thrown to him right here. And it's an opportunity with a well-placed ball, all right, for him to catch that thing skinny on up. All right, a lot of DBs, all right, in the NFL aren't the greatest of tacklers. They get paid more for coverage, all right? I think Pep is a guy that takes a lot of pride in playing physical, takes a lot of pride in being a solid tackler, something we preach and work with our players all the time, and does a really good job here, not only on the contact. You see right here, he's doing a good job leading with the shoulder. The eyes are up, so he's safe, he's effective. You can see what he hits right there, but also leading with the shoulder at a good angle break to really split the tight end down the middle in the strike zone, and he's hitting them well short right there, all right, of the 1st down markers you can see. So as you're looking at this play right here, we're really matched aggressively across the zones right here on the back end. All right, and that gives us a chance right there to have the coverage. But it's all tied together, Bob, all right, with the front end of what they're doing on the rush. So a large part of it's the coverage on the back end, but it's got to start up front in the trenches. That's really where the game's won. Now, with a guy like Ben, all right, who's made a career out of really extending plays and looking for big shot opportunities, you've got to find ways to get the ball out of his hand fast. All right, and the biggest thing we're looking to do with a guy like him is change up the looks on these front 5 right here to make sure he can never sit back there comfortably and just hold this pocket so he can sit back there and really read us comfortably. So this is one of our many games we're working right here up front. We're going to flush him on out right here, and you see right there, the defensive front really angling this way, and that allows Blake right there to read it out and work that gap that creates in the middle. Now, we've cut this part off right here, so he's not going to get flushed out there. You see Marcus coming from this side right here, really setting the edge. We got both edges set. We're flushing the interior of the pocket here. Ben's got to step up. We've eliminated right here the help to come off. And here comes Blake Martinez wrapping around right there. All right, he doesn't quite get to him, but what he does do is he gives Ben a blue jersey run in his face, makes him throw the ball a little bit quicker than he wants to. It's a little more off target, as we saw a second ago, to the tight end. All right, Blake does a good job pulling off, not getting a cheap hit or a penalty right there and extending the drive. But it's a nice job there of reading it out, being patient with the technique right here, all right, to let all this develop before he wraps around and gets vertical and forces Ben to really throw the ball faster than he wants to. Again, to make these guys on the back end effective in their coverage, these guys got to do their job up front and really make this guy back here make a quicker decision than he wants. So that's a good job getting off the field in 3 downs right there. Now ties into the back end right here. We talk about complementary football. All sides complement each other. Offense scores, kicking game kicks off, gives good field position. Defense has to play 3 and out, put the punt return unit on the field. Now it comes down to, do we rush it and block it? Do we put a returner on there and get a good return? So that ties into Pep going back deep in a second.
Yeah, the Giants stopped Pittsburgh on a 3rd and 9. In fact, Pittsburgh was just 1 for 5 on 3rd downs of 9+. We've seen Slayton's touchdown. Peppers makes a big play. The defense well coordinated on 3rd and 9. Now the ensuing punt. And Coach, He was a star athlete in New Jersey, nearby, and we know that Pepper's got a lot of ability. It just feels like he's going to break one this year.
You know what? He's definitely a dynamic guy with the ball in his hands. He stays on you enough in practice. Eventually, you got to put him back there in a game. He's done a really good job for us so far. He's made the right decisions. He's handled the ball well, but he's explosive with the ball in his hands. So he wants to always remind me about his days in Michigan, how they let him play both ways. You know, we'll see where we go with that right there. But he's definitely a fun guy to coach. But we're going to start right here. So it's 4th and 9. We got the punt return unit on. You know, it all starts first off with the perimeter. You know, in the NFL, different than college, the interior cannot leave until that ball's punted. The only two guys that can run down the field on the snap are the gunners outside. They're the most important players on the field besides the punter on the punt. And they're the guys got to get down there, be disruptive, get to the return before anybody else. So a lot of time what you're really looking for on your return unit is, you know, sometimes you got to single and play one-on-one, but ultimately you want to get vice, we call it, and that's 2-on-1 right there to really take them out. Now, you've got to play your vice to your technique and to your scheme you're going to run. So we're going to run a return right here. We're going to let Pep go ahead and take the ball. And we're looking to push this thing this way, away from their sideline, and then get it vertical right there. Okay, we're just calling it a missile return right here. And up top, we're going to work a technique. All right, in this case here, we're going to let Claypool, the gunner, release inside and play him to squeeze him inside and then play over the top for extra support in case he cuts back. We got the extra blocker come take him. Down here, this is single. Basically, picture this is bump and run, man defense, all right, except there's no DPI. There's no interference call. So you can contact them all the way on down the field. You're not worried about anything. You just want to go ahead and make sure he can't get down to the returner. So we're going to start with the perimeter first. All right, start down here in the single. And guys, this is one of the toughest jobs in football, all right, when you're in the single corner position against a gunner. Conversely now, one of the toughest jobs in football is being that gunner against this vice right here because it's a 2-on-1 matchup, and they got flags, but they don't throw them very often. So a lot of stuff goes on in there they're not going to call. All right, so we're going to start at the bottom right here with B. Williams, all right, on lane as a gunner. Now, speed on speed right there. He's doing a good job of winning with his feet. Early in the play, he's in a good position. All right, we're talking to him about being a back hip position. We're talking about back hip position right here. We're really talking about letting him beat you a little bit, that you always have vision on him. We tell him if he's running a 4-4, you're running a 4-5. You always have to keep him in your vision so you never get too high and give him that cutback folding over and getting direct access to that returner. B. Williams doing a good job right here, really playing patient with his technique, staying at a low hip position, and then throttling when he needs to right there. All right, at the last second, he gets run by, all right, but he gave enough to crease Pep and really get him started right there. Now, running back to the front part up top, all right, you see the vice working together. Now, this 2-on-1 matchup right here always looks a lot cleaner on paper than it is in person, but Darnay's doing a good job right here versus the inside release. All right, washing Claypool down right there. All right. Brad's doing a good job right here of playing behind for the fullback and the cutback right there. And Pep's going to use that block right there just to go ahead and bring it in. Does a good job here. There's a lot of vertical separation on the catch. Colquitt gave us a good punt right there to get separation. And now Pep's going to go ahead and just use his space running techniques right here and just get outside of Claypool right there and give him a chance to get started on the edge. And again, you see Bradbury coming right there, that if he stayed up, he could have shield blocked him right there. We're always coaching not to get the penalties, not to block in the back, but give Pep just a chance to get out there in space, get vertical, turn and make a play. So it started good with the perimeter right there. Obviously, you know, we got a good punt from the punter, really create a lot of vertical separation. And ideally, you hear a lot of people say all the time, like they outkick their coverage. Well, first off, it's the coverage's job to cover. It's the punter's job to punt. But the coverage has to get down there and really look to eliminate that separation initially. If you get 10 yards of separation from the gunners and returner, that's an opportunity right there for a big play to get started. All right. Now we can go to the back end and show you some different angles right here. They still have the ball. This is a defensive play as far as we're concerned. Inside, we're going to have hold-up technique, and we'll work and mix this up based on game plan to put different types of pressure on the opponent. But ultimately, these guys got to hold their guy up with the leverage needed on the play. So if the ball's going away from you on the return, you're really looking to work inside shoulder control right here and force your man to release outside and opposite of where that ball's going. You know, you see right here, you see Penny, and you see Fackrell right away off the snap. See both guys working in for the inside shoulder to make their guy release outside. You see X-Man right here on the outside shoulder, really overplaying and trying to get him released that way right there.
And Ebner's not bailing yet.
No, absolutely not. Ebner's not going to leave until he knows that thing's punted and that PP is getting fresh to release right there, and he's going to track him down the field. And you see right there, Nate's eyes never leave the box right there till the ball comes off his foot. So he's spying through the entire time, seeing that ball punted, and then he can turn, flip, transition, and get down the field and make his block. Now, it's just a good shot right here. Pep getting it started. And then you see the angles on the block. So now you're just in controlled chaos in space right here. You got a lot of guys coming. The biggest targets you got to watch is People get over aggressive. You got to make sure you're not blocking in the back and killing yourself on the return before you get started. So right here, all right, you got to see the pull off right here. All right, you're in a point where you want to make that block. You want to be over aggressive, but you got to make sure that the body never falls forward. You never get those hands extended outside your body. Watching Sean Chandler's have a nice cutoff block right here. Nate will finish and ride him by right here. All right, really what we're looking for is that crease to get them started. All right, and you see right there doing a nice job just sealing it. Give them a chance. All right, on the other side right there, run this back a little bit more for it. All right, and it really gets Pep isolated. We get the nice vertical crease right there. And Pep really gets isolated up there, and the one guy we're not blocking, the long snapper. After that, it just comes up to the punter for the overlap. You know, Pep's going to catch a little bit of flack right here, but getting tackled by the last man. All right, but it does a good job getting up to that stream right there. A nice 20-yard return. So again, it starts out with a touchdown by the offense. It folds over to 3 and out by the defense. You put the punt return unit on there. They produce 20 yards of field position on the return, and that's complimentary football right there. Starting our offense in good position. We want to always win that field position battle right there, Bob.
Man, that is some doctorate on the X's and O's of offense, defense, and special teams. You know how good Coach Judge is? He even switched colors on the telestrator right in the middle of the show.
That's when I got important, Bob. I don't want to miss that part right there.
Coach, we appreciate the time. We look forward to it each and every week.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate you.
You're watching the Joe Judge Report.